Fractured reflections. The shattering collapse of Willow and Kristina in Port Charles. In the twisted emotional landscape of Port Charles, few stories mirror the raw disintegration of identity and consequence quite like the unraveling paths of Willow Tate and Kristina Corinthos Davis. Once hopeful figures seeking redemption from the wreckage of their pasts, both women have spiraled into psychological tailspins that threaten to redefine not just their futures, but the legacy of their families. Their journeys, haunting, painful, and disturbingly parallel, suggest that escape from trauma is often an illusion, and the scars of manipulation and betrayal run far deeper than anyone dares to admit. For Willow, the descent has been especially jarring. Once a gentle soul who bore the pain of cult abuse with remarkable grace and strength, she has now become a portrait of chaotic grief and misplaced defiance. Her time at the infamous Dawn of Day cult left her emotionally battered, but it was also where she first crossed paths with Kristina, whom she desperately tried to rescue from Shiloh's psychological grip. Ironically, the kindness and courage that defined Willow back then now feel like faint echoes of a woman who has lost her compass. Her recent actions suggest not only an unraveling sense of judgment but a reckless pattern of self-sabotage that has destroyed the foundation of her carefully reconstructed life. The turning point came with her entanglement with Drew Kane, a man who should have represented wisdom and stability, but instead fueled a betrayal of seismic proportions. While married to Michael Corinthos, Willow initiated a clandestine affair with Drew, Michael's own uncle. Their tryst, shockingly reckless, unfolded not in secrecy but in the symbolic heart of family, the children's playroom at the Quartermain estate. What might have been buried as a private scandal instead exploded in spectacular fashion during the family's Christmas party, when a video, accidentally revealed via Michael's phone, exposed the betrayal in front of their shocked relatives. The fallout was immediate, brutal, and humiliating. The public revelation of the affair shattered any trust remaining between Willow and Michael, igniting a custody war that would test the moral integrity of the entire Corinthos Quartermain clan. In court, Willow's erratic behavior sealed her fate. Rather than acknowledge her wrongdoing or show remorse, she lashed out. Her courtroom breakdown, complete with shrieking accusations and a dramatic collapse, not only ensured Michael's victory but highlighted just how far Willow had slipped from the poised, thoughtful woman she once was. The judge's scathing verdict pointed to a pattern of irresponsibility and emotional instability, stripping her of custody over both Wiley and Amelia. Willow's supporters have tried to justify her actions as the manifestation of unresolved trauma. Indeed, there's no denying she remains deeply haunted by the manipulations of her past, by the cult that once dictated her choices and robbed her of autonomy. Yet the truth remains. Her failure to take accountability, and her unyielding attachment to Drew, have endangered the very children she once fought so hard to protect. Now under psychiatric evaluation following her courtroom collapse, Willow stands at a crossroads. Whether she can confront her past honestly or continues to be defined by denial remains to be seen. While Willow's collapse is a cautionary tale of suppressed pain erupting into chaos, Kristina Corinthos Davis presents a different, more volatile case of emotional turbulence. Her mental state has been in question ever since the day she fell from the Metro Court balcony, an accident that not only left her physically bruised but emotionally devastated, as it led to the loss of her unborn child. That single moment, compounded by years of unresolved familial strain and her own flirtation with cult life, seems to have fractured Kristina's grip on reason and restraint. Though therapy was offered, even encouraged by her late sister Sam McCall, it barely scratched the surface. Kristina appeared to be healing, but underneath the placid surface festered a rage and recklessness that would soon explode in disturbing ways. The most terrifying example came when Kristina attempted to sabotage Ava Jerome by cutting the brake lines of what she believed was Ava's car. The result? A catastrophic accident involving Rick Lansing, Kristina's biological father, and Elizabeth Baldwin, who was merely an innocent passenger. While both survived, the incident underscored the terrifying reality: Kristina had become a danger to others, consumed by delusion and vengeance. Inexplicably, Alexis Davis, a brilliant legal mind and mother of 3 daughters, opted for silence instead of justice. Rather than turning Kristina over for psychiatric treatment or facing legal consequences, Alexis allowed herself to be drawn into an elaborate blackmail scheme orchestrated by Rick and Ava. In exchange for their silence about Kristina's attempt at vehicular homicide, they siphoned money from a child's trust fund, prolonging a lie, enabling a delusion, and cementing a conspiracy that could implode at any moment. And while the town whispers of Willow's breakdown and Kristina's instability, their supporters are quick to offer explanations: mental illness, past trauma, toxic parenting. But beneath the surface, a darker truth lingers. Both women have been enabled by families who, despite their power and wealth, are themselves fractured and often complicit in perpetuating dysfunction. Sonny Corinthos, Kristina's father, struggles with his own bipolar disorder and criminal past. Meanwhile, Drew, the man Willow clung to for comfort, exploited her vulnerability at a time when she most needed clarity and support. What's most disconcerting is how both women, though victims in their own right, have begun to exhibit the traits of their oppressors. Manipulation, impulsivity, denial, behaviors once imposed upon them by cult leaders and toxic men, have now become their tools of survival. Kristina has even gone so far as to hire Cody Bell to seduce Ava, continuing a twisted cycle of control and emotional warfare. Her inability to learn, to reflect, or to grow from the chaos she has caused speaks volumes. She isn't healing, she's retaliating. It's easy to ridicule their spirals as foolish or crazy, but doing so ignores the real tragedy: the systemic failures that allowed their declines to continue unchecked. In a town where therapy is a luxury and accountability is negotiable, both Kristina and Willow have become symbols of what happens when trauma is buried instead of confronted, when love becomes transactional, and when redemption is substituted with revenge. As Port Charles watches the unraveling of these 2 young women, one thing is certain: neither is in control anymore. Their destinies now rest in the hands of courts, doctors, and the unpredictable people surrounding them. Whether they find redemption or fall further into madness remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the consequences of their actions will ripple far beyond themselves, impacting every life, every child, and every secret tethered to the Corinthos and Quartermain empires. What began as cries for help have become roars of destruction. And the cost may be more than either of them is willing, or able, to pay.